What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about the Black Ops 7 multiplayer maps. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have to give them the credit. After looking at all these multiplayer maps, this is probably one of the good things that they did for Black Ops 7. I know there's some things that are questionable, some things that people aren't too happy with, but compared to the BO6 maps that we have, when you look at these Black Ops 7 ones, you can see a massive improvement. But I'm going to let you guys be the judges. I'm going to go ahead and showcase all the maps that we have so far, the early footage, and then you let me know down in the comments if you think these are some really good maps or not. But anyways, if you find the video informative at any point, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But we have 16 launch maps that are going to be available. So they mentioned that there's going to be futuristic Tokyo vistas to the frozen, unforgiving wilds of Alaska. Every environment is brimming with danger and opportunity, and many are deeply connected to the narrative. You'll fight through covert guild facilities in Japan, revisit David Mason's childhood cabin, infiltrate a remote tundra installation where weapons of war are being secretly 3D printed, and even clash across a high-tech solar array in the Australian outback. So these are the descriptions they give for the maps, and thankfully they're going to be like completely different. They're not going to be all based on Avalon, so you're going to get the look and feel of completely different maps and not feel like you're playing the same repetitive one over and over again. Now, jumping into the maps specifically, we have 3 remasters that are going to be available at launch, and that is going to be Raid, Express, as well as Hijacked, and we actually do have footage of what these look like. For example, this is what Raid looks like. So they changed the theme up, although they kept the remake very true. They sort of cleaned it up. If you notice, a lot of times when we get remasters of maps, they're all like cluttered. There's like a bunch of things going on that really shouldn't be there, but this one is just clean. I like the fact that they kept it, even though they sort of changed the theme a bit, they didn't add too much clutter and make it, I guess, look, very odd and not really as Raid as it should look, right? B-roll footages and the different clips that we have, even a little bit of gameplay that they showcase of what it looks like on Raid. And this is the first map, which will be available on the first day of Black Ops 7. It may actually also be in the beta if we're lucky enough. But the next map that we have is actually footage that ended up appearing just the other day. We have our first look at Hijack. A couple things to note from it. So the footage you're seeing here, this is for multiplayer, and this is what the multiplayer map version looks like. But then there's also another version of this map, which is set at night, and it has to do with the actual campaign. So I believe it's like a covert mission where they have to sneak on into this yacht and then eliminate, some people and, follow some missions that they have to do. But the point is, they look completely different, so you can tell which one's campaign and which one's actually a part of multiplayer. And from the couple seconds of footage here, it's yet again sort of like Raid, to where they remastered it. They kept it exactly the same. They may have changed it and made it, look a little different, but it kept the same core values, and that's what I feel like is the most important thing when you remaster a map, not to remake it to a point that it's like unrecognizable, right? And then the next map that we have is Express. So this comes in from BO2 as well, and this one has it more of like, the Tokyo Japanese sort of theme that we previously talked about. They said they were going to do for some of these remakes, and that's what it seems like they've done. There are some minor changes that I noticed that weren't a part of the regular Express, and that's like those skyscrapers in the background. You also see that it's Japanese themed and all of that stuff, but it's like a second of footage that they provided here. So these are the 3 maps that we have. Now, there's another map that is usually remastered and remade every single Black Ops game, but so far they haven't mentioned anything about it, and I think you know what I'm talking about. That is Nuketown. So right now, it's looking like Nuketown is not a part of the launch maps, which is actually pretty normal because in BO6, it wasn't a part of the launch maps either, and I think a couple more Call of Duty like Black Ops titles, they've done the same thing. You never see it on the first day, but maybe a couple weeks later or with a seasonal update, they'll bring it in. And I think that's going to be the same thing here with Black Ops 7. There is no way that they don't make a futuristic version of Nuketown and bring it in Black Ops 7. Now, the question is, do you want it to look more like a remake of BO2, or would you rather have it a little more futuristic like Black Ops 3 with like the super bright, colorful saturation, contrast, and theme that they had with Black Ops 3? The game is literally set in between both of them, so maybe they could get a mix of both and have that same futuristic realistic look, but keep that core value, as I mentioned earlier, of Nuketown. But anyways, speaking of Season 1 maps, we actually have a look at one of them, and that is Gridlock. This is a map that was originally in Black Ops 4, and it was one of those maps that we saw from leakers. They said it was going to be in Black Ops 7, but it wasn't confirmed because we have the 16 launch maps, and only 3 of them are going to be remakes. And Expert Fusion actually noticed an image, so he said, "Is this not Gridlock from BO4?" when they were showcasing the Rhino score streak? And in the background, you'll actually notice that it's Gridlock. So taking a look at the map itself, you have like the Japanese themed sort of buildings on the right side, and then the left side, you have those like freeway signs that are just damaged and then they fallen, and yeah, so it's like a full-on remake of that, if you will, and it's basically looking exactly the same. Even that like highway at the very top is like damaged and completely fallen. It's the same sort of thing. You can see that on the left side as well. So it's like literally that same exact map, but because they didn't advertise or mention that it was going to be at launch, it's probably going to be a Season 1 update. Now, these are the maps that are remade and we've seen in the past before, but let's talk about some originals that are going to be coming in. So here are the names. We have The Forge, which is apparently a lot of the devs' favorite map from the Direct. They mentioned that it was just a map that they really liked. And then the second one, we have Toshin. We then have Exposure, Cortez, Scar, Den, Homestead, which is actually David Mason's childhood cabin, which is the one that's like shown in a couple pieces of the footage. We also get to see what inside of it looks like, but outside it's a little darker. They also have like the aurora and the colors, and it's like the snow themed, so you see how different it is from some of the other maps that we have. And then you also have Colossus, Imprint, Dry Dock, Retrieval, Paranoia, Blackheart. These are all the new maps that are going to be coming in, and then you also have the ones that are remastered. Now, other than these maps that you're looking at here that are going to be all original, never before seen, some of them are probably going to also come in from the campaign. But what I'm really liking about this is not a lot of them look like they're coming from Avalon, and that's something that's like a repetitive thing that Black Ops 6 just kept on doing. And people got really fed up with it. So it's like bringing in maps isn't even really all that exciting anymore. For example, they brought WMD into the game and they Avalonified it. Like they literally made it look like it was a map on Avalon. They took the snow away. They took everything that made it that fire WMD OG map, right? And in this case, it looks like they've learned that lesson and they're not doing that with Black Ops 7. Now, another thing that I want to talk about are the big maps. So we do have 20v20 skirmish maps that are going to be available, and 2 of them are going to be available at launch, and one of them is called Tide and the other one is called Mission Edge. Now, we do have confirmations that these are coming in from Avalon, so basically like say some of like the ground war maps where they take them from bigger like Warzone modes or anything like that. It's something very similar to it, but you'll see here from these clips that these are some big massive maps. Like these are ones that you'll probably be able to, it'll take you like 5 minutes to go from one end to the other end, and you'll see here that there's definitely a lot going on with it. So that's the type of maps that they're going to be bringing in, and you can also fly through them, so being able to use the wingsuits now, and that's like a cool feature that they're introducing. So there's a lot of action and things like that going on with it, but this is a look at the map for Skirmish. Now, what are your thoughts and opinions on these launch maps for Black Ops 7? 1, do they fit your expectations? Is this something you want from a new Black Ops game? 2, is it an improvement from what we've seen in the past, for example, Black Ops 6? Do you prefer this to the smaller scale, medium, and strike sort of maps that we've gotten in the past? Anyways, that is all that I have for you guys here in today's video. We're going to have more information on these maps as we get closer to launch, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated. But that is all that I got for you guys in this video. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys back on the channel again. Peace.